Thank you. Thank you so much for speaking to me. This was absolutely fantastic and a wonderful kind of companion piece. What I wanted to know was kind of the way of how it was shot because you have the kind of the actual musical movie going on at the same time as you're filming the documentary. So how does the scheduling work? Why is it like one day for the documentary, the next day for the
It's a great
musical?
question. Yeah, that's a great question. So with this, we're there for the whole, from the start of the musical, from planning the musical to the
Mhm.
end. So we're there every single day. And for us, it's about, documenting that journey every single day, the ups, the downs, all of it. And so from a scheduling standpoint, it's literally if they're talking about it or they're in production or whatever, we're there. And we're documenting it. And yeah. So the scheduling is whenever they're on, we're on.
How do you go about finding that moment where, everyone is talking and being vulnerable with wanting to keep it honest, but not that kind of exploitive, like, oh, look, she's crying moment?
I think it's about understanding situations and looking into a room before you're going in there and understanding, where can you be so you're not noticed? Where can you be when you're, to be a fly on the wall and where you're not kind of interrupting what's happening. And I think that's, studying schedules and understanding and knowing what's happening in those rooms and really having a nuance into the way you do it. With Jennifer, a lot of the angles and a lot of the way that I do it are from the side and a profile, or if it's over the shoulder, or where the audience really feels like they're in that room. It's really important to me to not have, these standard kind of angles. I want something different. I want something where you feel like you're there, where you feel the intimacy of the situation, where the subject knows that you're there but doesn't feel that you're there. And if you can get all of that in the scene, you're doing your job. And having worked with Jennifer for the last 5.5 or 6 years, you kind of understand the rooms and you understand the moments in a very visceral way, and you understand when to be there or when to kind of fall back. And so that's important to me, is to be able to just listen and understand what's happening in the room. It's not just about a great shot, it's about a great shot, and it's about also letting the room do what the room has to do.
Mm. I was also really surprised at how involved Ben Affleck was being, interviewed with this. He really provided the insight of both Jennifer as a person and psychology. Can you talk about how it shaped the narrative of the documentary?
I'm sorry, you broke up on that last one.
I'm sorry. I said, can you talk about how Ben Affleck's involvement with the documentary, like the interviewing and being able to break down Jen's, her as a person, shaped the narrative of the documentary as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you have your partner, asking
Mhm.
questions, I think it's another layer that you can kind of get to. And I think it's wonderful having him do that. I mean, I'm honored that as a filmmaker that he was the person, doing that. But yeah, it definitely allows her to get a bit deeper. But he did I think two interviews, and I did two interviews, so you get a little bit of both of us in the
Mhm.
film.
Wonderful. Also, by you knowing Jennifer for so long, I wanted to know what was important that we, the viewers, get that we didn't know before.
I think for me, it's more about being along the journey with her and
Mhm.
allowing her to open up in a way, and again, that comes from the trust of us and how we're filming. I've seen this, I've seen Jennifer for years, and I think the unfiltered access that you get in this film comes from obviously working with her for so long. But I think it's just for her, it's just great that this is where we came to after this many years of working together to see this journey.
Right. when first of all you have the musical extravaganza that's going on. It was you explained how it's kind of hard for people to understand what it was, especially during the selling process. With this documentary, do you feel that this will make people understand more of what not just the concept is, but what we should take away from it?
Yeah, because you're getting that full behind the curtain access as to the
Mhm.
process. You're getting some context to some of the decisions that have been made. You're getting context to some of the stories that are being told. So yeah, I think once people see the documentary, I think it'll be this beautiful kind of full picture of everything. I mean, the This Is Me Now is this beautiful, fantastic, like unbelievable meta journey, and it's done in such a amazing way. Dave Meyers is a great director, and obviously Jen is Jen.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think it's very smart that they're doing this. They're coming out, one after each other, because it'll definitely give some good context, and yeah, pull behind the curtain a little bit.
I was wondering also, did you use the musical to kind of shape the beats of the narrative when it came to the documentary?
Sorry, say that again.
Did you use the movie musical to kind of shape the beats of what you wanted to, well, help
Oh,
explain when it came to the
yeah,
documentary?
absolutely. I mean, I've, read the scripts, understand everything that was going on from top to bottom, like understand the stories that are being told. And for our job as on the documentary crew, was to trail that whole process, and to, when you have scenes like Broken Like Me and Rebound, I knew those were going to be, bigger scenes in our film, because it helps, you really get into that, you get invested into that emotional space that we were all in. So, even as, different scenes would happen throughout different days, you walk in thinking you're going to get one thing, and then, oh my God, you get a completely different thing. And for them, they walk in knowing what they have to get for the day because it's somewhat scripted. For us, we get that part, but then
Right.
we also get everything else that kind of goes in to make their film. So yeah.
I was wondering in the planning process of it, does that make it easier or harder? Because you're in a sense, you're essentially doing two jobs at once. You're explaining what's going on, and then you're getting these emotions out from the people who are involved with the musical.
Yeah. Sorry, what was the question?
The question was, does that make it easier or harder to shape that
Um,
narrative?
it, I think with documentaries, I that's a good question. Um, I don't know, honestly, and I'm gonna
Yes.
be honest. I'm gonna be totally honest and not make something up and what have you, but I don't know. I find, feel, felt, found, like
Mhm.
I just go in and experience what's happening. And, I'm very well aware of the musical, but, I'm on a journey myself as a filmmaker, and going throughout all of those moments between the scripted and what we're doing all shape the documentary.
Right. So aside from obviously Jennifer and Ben and other people, who were the important subjects that you really wanted to include that helped to define this documentary?
I mean, they're all important. I mean, Jane
Mhm.
was incredible, Neil was incredible, Fat Joe was incredible, Jay Shetty, Trevor Noah, Sofia Vergara, they all played a part in it, and I think from different places, right? There's
Mhm.
that personal, really that personal part between Jane and Jen. There's the scientific, part with Neil deGrasse Tyson that
Mhm.
was funny. I mean, he's incredible. Just being in his presence is incredible. Such a sweet, lovely man. So I think everyone played their part in this, and but they all had different kind of roles, if that makes sense.
Right. It does. Well, thank you so much for speaking to me. A
Of
wonderful
course.
documentary.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.